You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the Fighter's Voice. The Fighter's Voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Fresno, California, we're live here in Mad Production Studios. The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And guess what? All month of May for women continues tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a great month so far. We've had the who's who of boxing and also MMA when it comes to women in the sport. And today, it doesn't get any different. We continue to have legends, Hall of Famers, and just women in the sport that are making a name for themselves and taking this task and just running with it. I mean, not just lucky to be there or happy to be there, but in the forefront, making it happen. It's no longer just a man's world, it's a woman's world, and they're taking combat sports by storm. They're taking over, so to speak, because they got what it takes. They have the tenacity like a fighter. They have the wits like a fighter. They have the heart like a fighter. And they're making it happen. Enough said, ladies and gentlemen. Today's guest is Brittany Goossen-Brown, who is the Vice President of TGB Promotions. Welcome to the show, Brittany. How we doing?
Hey, I'm good. Just trying to push through till we're out of this quarantine and back on the road.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that. You say back on the road and pushing through. What are you doing? How have you adapted? And how have you embraced it?
In the beginning, it was really hard to, I mean, it still is. I'm so used to going. I had everything scheduled out through June, all my weekends. I think I had like 2 weekends that I'd be at home and not on the road at a show.
Right.
So, you know, it happened so quickly. I flew out to D.C. for that Maryland show that was supposed to happen on March 14th. And the day before, we got word that the Maryland governor was going to pull the plug on any kind of crowds. So, and we decided, you know, to send everyone home. But we were trying to figure out the logistics with all the fighters just landing that day. And it kind of just, you know, we got home and then that was it. There was no goodbye, no, like that we knew was going to be over for a little bit. It was crazy. So, that whole flight home, I was just like reading so many articles about coronavirus. I was getting paranoid. I'm still paranoid, but you know, I think we're toward the end of it, hopefully.
I believe so. Did you know during that time when you were asked, okay, that this to leave or to pull back, did you think it would be this long, or
no.
What were you thinking?
I had, you know, I'm going to be honest. I knew I was aware of the virus, but I did not take it very seriously. I hadn't really researched it too much. We were in New York the week before for a show, and one of my best friends, she's actually a nurse practitioner, and she had texted me while I was in New York and was like, hey, you know, they have a lot of cases. Be cautious out there. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, and, you know, we just kept it going. But no, I had no idea. I thought, you know, this is weird. When the NBA pulled the plug, I was on my way to LAX, and I just happened to see my update on Twitter, and it said, you know, the NBA has suspended their season. And that's when I was like, this is a bigger deal than I thought. And then Tom Hanks got it right within then. And I was debating whether to get on the plane or not. But at that time, we were like forging ahead. And no, I had no idea it was going to be like this. None whatsoever.
How did your staff take it? How did they receive it? Because I want to also talk about your responsibilities, because, I mean, you are holding it down. I was looking at your bio and everything that you do. How did they receive it, and what are their thoughts about it now?
So when we were in Maryland, you know, after I was at the MGM National Harbor and had met with their GM and their staff, and they had word about the governor's announcement, I went back and just talked to my staff. We didn't want to get everyone too scared yet. Right. We wanted to figure out what we were doing. And, you know, there was a lot of people we had traveled in. We had to get the travel agent back on the phone. We had to get with the hotel to let them know, we're not going to be using all the rooms that we've booked. If some people hadn't made it to the airport yet, we were canceling their flights and just telling them to stay home. There was a lot of moving parts. So my staff they were great. I mean, Monica volunteered to stay an extra day to make sure like the last flight of one of the fighters could get out. They went and took out extra per diem just for these kids that, we didn't, it was just so sudden that, and some of them were stuck there for a little bit longer than what we wanted, because we tried to get everyone out that night or the next day, but it wasn't really possible. I mean, now they're ready to work. We're a small but mighty team, and I talked to them, we're in constant communication. They're cleaning, they're doing all sorts of different little weird missions for things that we didn't ever have time to do. So,
well, that's the part about embracing the situation that you're in. And you know what? You were able to adapt and embrace it and defeat it because you were born for this. I want to talk about how it was being born into a boxing family, a fighting family. They're not just in the ring, but any obstacle that comes your way. Life obstacles. Like this is one of them, and you're winning because you're here on the Fighter's Voice talking about it. But tell all the viewers, the fans, and the followers, what was it like growing up in a boxing family?
It was crazy like you would imagine it would be. I guess I don't know anything else but boxing. So in first and second grade, we used to say, like, my dad's in the kick-ass business, with all my cousins. There's a million of us, too. We all went to school together. My Uncle Joe's has 4 kids, and they're all around our age. And it's just a bunch of us that we going to, like, Vegas, all the fights, they were vacations for us. We didn't have, like, real vacations. Yeah. So it'd be, like, Palm Springs and this and that. I mean, we were choosing not even to go to the fights at some point just to like hang out at the hotel and have a good time. Oh, wow. But I do say that growing up around boxing, I have a different perspective with the fighters than most people would. Only there's the business side, there's the trainer side that you're like really close to the fighter. And that was kind of more, we were kind of a mom and pop operation. So if a fighter was signed to us, you were in our family. And that meant Christmas Eve with us, Thanksgiving with us, especially if you're in training with my Uncle Joe at the time. Yeah. You weren't escaping us. I had a random fighter at my first Holy Communion. So like it was just it's family. So I think it made me really. That's why I go the extra mile for any of our fighters. Right. I just know what they're sacrificing and what they. I mean, every time they step into that ring, it's not, football. It's not baseball. It's life or death. And anything I can do on the opposite side to make it easier for them, I do. And I'm talking 4-rounder, our 4-rounder guys to the heavyweight champs.
So, I mean, they all have the passion for it, the desire, from your dad, Tom, to your uncle, Larry, Dan, and Joe. Yeah. But which one of them has just that passion where, you know what, I'm not even going to sleep. Just put boxing all over me. I mean, which one just has that?
My Uncle Dan, who passed away. My Uncle Dan, he was a workaholic. He didn't...
Hall of Fame promoter.
Yes. And he lived and breathed boxing. Literally, until he was talking to me about business while he was on his deathbed, so.
Strong businessman.
Constant. It was everything to him.
I was the professional he is, suit and tie. I always had his golf clothes on. I mean, just ready to do business. What you see is what you get, but I mean, he just brought it every single time, especially at that press conference. He wasn't afraid to let you know that, hey, I'm still a tough guy. I know the sport. I don't just promote it. I know how to use my hands.
My uncles, my dad, they're big guys. I've seen them go with the best of them. They're not to be. They're nice. They're nice until pushed too far, and they're kind of scary. But my Uncle Dan, he was funny. He was good at press conferences too. A little too much with the dad jokes sometimes, but we call them Goossen jokes. They all make them. It's terrible.
Oh, Goossen jokes, huh?
Oh my God, yeah, such just,
Well,
and now they're like trendy, but growing up with it was always like, there you guys again.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about Joe. I mean, the man has swag. I mean, a trainer, knows how to handle the microphone, knows his boxing inside and out, from the white jean jacket to the feathered hair to the, you know what, I got these two fists and I'm not afraid to lay them in your ass if I have to. Let's talk about him a little bit.
My Uncle Joey, yeah, he's really rocked that denim look, huh?
Oh no, not too many people can rock that. He can get away with the light blue denim or even the white denim. He can still hang with that.
Oh, I know. Uncle Joe's great. I mean, he has been the same forever and ever and ever and ever. I mean, he's always entertaining, always the life of the party. He's just a cool guy. He oozes coolness. Not many people can do that. No. He's a tough ass too.
Yes, he is. I've seen him in fights. I mean, actually push people out of his way when they're in the ring. I mean, he's doing an interview and they try to just get in his way, and he lets you know, it's not happening. Not on my watch.
Referees, reporters, yeah, we know. Commission, I've seen it.
And see, that's the fighter that I'm talking about. Not just inside of the octagon or the boxing ring. It's 24/7.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, a fighter fighting for something, fighting for position, fighting for his rights, fighting for his fighter, going to bat for his fighter, for the promotions, for his daughter, his niece, all the above.
Oh yeah, we're definitely raised with that speak up and fight for yourself mentality.
Exactly. I'm sure you had some crazy fond memories growing up. What's the craziest memory you have growing up in this boxing family? You talked about staying in the hotels for vacation, but during that time, I mean, they didn't have 24-hour watch on you guys. I mean, what did Brittany do to have fun during that vacation, so to speak, time?
I think that my favorite, I was just talking about this with my cousin Katie, when Rafael fought Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I don't even remember what year it was. I was probably in like 4th or 5th grade, but we were all in Vegas, and everyone, they had all their Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Everyone back then. Now people still do it a little bit, but back then, all the trainer cornermen, you were all in the outfits the whole fight week, and we would just we thought we were so cool, like running around them and just yelling like "Golden Boy sucks." I mean, it wasn't even Golden Boy Promotions at the time.
No,
it was just
not yet.
strictly
No.
Oscar, but
yeah.
It was just like
He just had the nickname.
Yeah, and we just thought it was like we were so cool, like really there to push poor Rafael. It didn't work out so well for us, but I think that was fight weeks were always just so fun.
Yeah.
When I was little, it was, especially if we were close with the fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, and you would just, but it was also very sad and very hard to understand as a kid when you watch them lose, and not just again, not a football game where they lost and it was sad. You watch them get the shit beat out of them sometimes, and you're like.
But you know what, Rafael. See, Oscar, he knew he had to get rid of him early, because if they would have went into the later rounds, Rafael would have tested him and honestly take him into some deep waters, because that was Rafael. His whole thing was, I'll take 2 punches to give my punch in my combination. His expertise were the later rounds and just going to war after the 6th round on. It was all Rafael. I
mean, and the Rafael and Gabriel are they're a real testament to my Uncle Joe. I mean, these were just boys selling candy coming into the gym at 11,
LA
12
area,
years
correct?
old. Huh?
In the LA area, correct?
In the LA area, yes.
Yeah.
The gym's in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And they, my uncle was like, I'll buy some, but you're going to come back here and train with me. And look what he turned them into.
Exactly.
It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is if you think about it.
Both brothers. Yeah. That's exactly where they started off from. I remember that. Watching them on a USA Network, Tuesday Night Fights, Sean O'Grady, back in the day.
Yeah, talk about family. They were like, I mean, they've been around longer than I have in my family. They're cousins to me, or I wouldn't say brothers, I have enough brothers. They're cousins to me. But it's just, I mean, look, just a couple kids that my Uncle Joe was like, who that didn't have an interest in boxing really. look what he was able to do. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Turning into one of the world's premier trainers, knows the sport, knows where he stands in the sport of boxing. Not afraid to go against the grain if that's what he truly sees and believes. I've seen him do it before, and I've heard him do it before.
Yeah, I mean, even what he did with Chris Arreola, and and Chris just recently went with him. I thought that's the best Chris has looked in a long time.
He just happened to fight a guy that's it's his time right now. Even though he got stopped at the time, but yeah, I mean, he brought a new Chris inside of him and displayed the best Chris that you can get, and what he had to work with in the little time that he had to work.
Yeah, and that's an older Chris, a slower Chris, but he looked. I didn't like the decision, but I was impressed with how good he looked, and that says a lot about my uncle's training style.
So, I mean, this sport has been great to you. You're making a living doing it. You're a graduate, and you have all the credentials needed. What obstacles did you have to overcome? I mean, and I was about to ask, has anybody ever said, okay, she's not going to make it because she's a female, she doesn't know the sport? How many times did you have to make people eat their words? And that's what this whole month is all about. I dedicated completely to all the women in boxing and MMA. And everybody has had a story to tell on obstacles they had to overcome. Tell us about yours.
I've been thinking, I get asked that a lot, and I feel like I did have a better starting point than most women in the sport. Right. Because of my last name and who my family is. They're not going to mess with me too much. No. I know there's going to be someone coming after them if they did. But
who would be the one? Who would be the one to say, "Oh no, this isn't happening today"?
It would depend. I have one of my three brothers, maybe. My Uncle Joe would snap on anyone for me if I need. My dad, hello. But they don't have to. I was going to say, I've always been like a very tough girl myself, and so no one's ever. I didn't have to like act tougher, and it's just I never felt disrespected by any fighter, trainer.
Oh, that's good.
I haven't had that problem. I mean, and if I do feel a certain way, I have no problem telling them. I've had one guy in Pennsylvania that wasn't great. That was kind of bad. People to like hold him back. I was like, what's he going to do? I looked at his record. It's not going to hurt me. We'll be okay. We'll be all right here. But for the most part, their fighters are kind of easygoing. No one believes this, but they're typically kind of easygoing. Not so, they get a little bit mad. Sometimes they get angry with me about things that I don't control and I can't control. Yeah. And I get pissy when it's in the moment, but then when I think about it after, I'm like, these poor guys, like, come on, like, you trained for 7 weeks, 8 weeks for this one night. For me, this is every week, so I'm like cranky, and it's just like a kind of get it done. Like, I have a checklist, and for them, like, this is a big night. This is this either puts them on to the next step or not. And we all know in boxing you have to be winning a lot to make money, to make real money like that. So, it's very important to them. I understand where they're coming from. So I haven't really had to face too much. I'm trying to think, like, no.
Right.
I mean, aside from being like a young woman and just already, who they think I'm there because my family solely. But I think I've kind of proven myself at this point, and I never felt it too badly.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of women in the sport of boxing and also combat sports. What are some of the women out there that you watch and that you admire? Or you say, you know what, she handled herself very well. Or, you know what, she is a true professional.
Kelly Swanson.
There you go.
Kelly, I think she's like the godmother to all of us girls in boxing. But she's tough when she needs to be.
Yes.
But she knows what she's doing. She's good. I mean, if I'm in a bind, I call her Lisa, who used to work for Kelly. She was trained by Kelly, so she too. I admired them, and just Kelly's no nonsense, but she's business, but still fun in her own way. I definitely look up to Kelly.
Oh, yeah, especially if Buffalo Bills are playing and they're winning. Oh, she's in a great mood. But if they're losing or they take a nosedive, move out of the way. She was actually on the show 2 weeks ago, and we were sharing those stories of our Buffalo Bills during the football season.
Yeah, she's, I know. Well, too bad she's not going to have that for a little while.
No, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I would call her the godmother of boxing.
Definitely
definitely a great PR and knows how to handle herself, full of wits, and absolutely, I can see her be the one where a lot of people look up to, and on everything that she's doing, and try to follow the journey she's going on.
And she's been very good about offering advice. Yeah. I mean, not like unsolicited, obviously, but very good. And you take it. She's just very to the point, straightforward, and I trust her, and that's hard to come by sometimes. But definitely Kelly.
Okay, good. Now, what do you have to say to somebody that wants to get into the sport of boxing? Maybe because they have the look, or I kind of like it, but I really don't love it. And you see that because
you have to love it. You have to love it.
Exactly, I agree with you. But there's also those that are out there that I want the limelight, I want everything without putting in the work. I'm sure you can recognize that.
That's what I would tell them. Do something else then, because if you don't love this is not. I mean, right now this has been I'm at home and then bored, but there's no season. It doesn't end. There's you don't have. It's not have one game and you won and you get to go back to the drawing board and decide this for the next week. It's constant. There's times I have 2 shows a week, and it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of people involved. A lot of you have to. There's no hours. I mean, people call me 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, especially during fight week. I mean, you would have to love this to do this like this, because it's your life. You make it your life.
Let's talk about fight week. You shared that it was so exciting, but what's it like now, knowing that you have all these expectations of you, these duties, this checklist?
Not as exciting. No, it's fight week. I've gotten it so down. That's what I hope I didn't lose my. It depends. There's fight weeks where it's like a nice, easygoing fight week, and then there's fight weeks where there's just in Vegas, it's nice because everything's in one location, one hotel. In LA, it gets a little tougher because you have to do the transportation, and God forbid the van's not there at the time, or it's a van that someone doesn't like, and this and that, and there's just so many personalities and people and calls and this and that, and it's hectic. And by the time I get to fight night, I am exhausted.
When do you get to relax? The day after that evening, during the fight week? After the fight.
Well, I would say, after the fight, not really. I never get to go out after the fight, because if someone needs stitches or someone's been taken to the hospital, I have to stay and do all the paperwork. I would say that flight home on Sunday morning. Okay. I do not get Wi-Fi. I sit there and just watch a movie or calm down, because that's when the minute I land, usually I go straight to the office because there's another show typically. Right. Yeah. Well, right now it's this has just been crazy. We were on a roll there. We had so many shows already in 2020, and this is crazy. It's just I'm ready to go back. I'm ready for the craziness. I said I won't be cranky this time.
There you go. Hey, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're looking for her around, or even fight her, call her on it. She's not going to be cranky. Speaking of not being cranky, during the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury rematch, I saw you in Vegas. I mean, you were relaxing. You were with some friends. I was going to stop by and say hello, but I said, no, you know what? She's on her personal time. But I happened to see you there in Vegas.
That was a fun one. That was a fun week. That went really smoothly, working with Top Rank and.
Yeah, you were having fun.
Yeah, it was. You have to sneak in fun sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're gone. I think I was out on the road 43 weeks of the year last year.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, it's like I don't really get to have fun or socialize here when I'm home, or didn't at that time. So it's like those people are like now my friends, like my family. Like the boxing world's a weird little dysfunctional family.
You have to enjoy yourself, and you got to make it awesome every single time. You got to embrace it, and you know, don't look at it as work. It's fun. It's doing what you love.
Right. And there's some places where, you know, like even in some of these tinier little towns that are kind of fun. I found out Biloxi, Mississippi, not so bad.
No, well, hey, you got to come down to Fresno, California, Save Mart Center. And
we used to do shows out there back in the day.
Really?
We haven't.
Well,
yeah,
hey.
I mean,
it's thirsty. It's waiting for you guys. Come back, Fresno, California. Make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin Newsom. We gotta let him get him to open up some more things. Then we'll get going.
Exactly. I want to talk about a few things and open up a few things, so to speak. I want to ask you, what do you do on your free time when you're not doing boxing? Just even if it's an hour, what do you get to do that you enjoy? Has nothing to do with boxing at all. It's kind of your serenity, besides a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, a glass. I've been like a bottle lately.
There you go. Keep it real.
I mean, it's 4 glasses, and it goes quick. I do cardio bar like religiously. I'm very into it. It's like a ballet kind of workout.
Right.
And that's like, I don't care if it's like the craziest fight ever. I take an hour and just don't even answer my phone during that. And I'm really into baking. It's very therapeutic.
Okay.
So I bake often and make cakes. I've been getting a lot of time to do that recently. And some people started DMing me to buy cakes. I like made some money off of it. I was like, look at this. I'm hustling. And yeah, it's crazy.
Reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw some topics at you. And I want your first reaction, and let me know what you think, because I know you've heard this one over and over again, but it doesn't get old. Mike Tyson, what's your take on the comeback possibly, hitting the pads? Is he serious? He's not serious? What's your whole take on this?
It's like they all come back, all fighters. They can't stay away for that long. Mike Tyson, we had him back in his oh gosh, who did he fight? Oh, Francois Botha.
Oh yeah, the White Buffalo.
Yep, and I mean, I remember. So Mike Tyson was
South Africa.
He was signed to us, and we were at the MGM Kiddie Daycare. I don't know if they have that anymore, but my mom would put my brothers and me in there. And we were with Francois Botha's kids like every day, and I like felt like such a traitor because I like really liked them. We were like having fun every day, and I was like excited to go see his daughter there and like hang out with her. I think he needs to chill. He's maybe do another movie. You don't need to come back in the ring. I think that's not a good idea. Okay.
Well, he inspired a lot of people, or maybe somebody inspired him, or maybe these two know something that we don't know. What's going on with Evander Holyfield? He also made the statement, hey, I'm coming back. I
know. What? They can't stay away. Boxing is some kind of hold on people, no matter how much money you make. They can't stay away. It's, again, like I said, you live this and you love it. They need to be back in it. But maybe they can come back in a different form. Let's not go back in the ring. It's crazy.
Well, they talked about exhibition bouts.
Right. But even that, they're a little... So, Evander Holyfield, I like him too. He's a good guy. But I don't know. I think they've done it, time to let other people shine now.
Okay. Now, you hear Mike Tyson's gonna fight again, or an exhibition. You're hearing it, Brittany. Are you sitting ringside or sitting at home? Are you watching?
I probably watch, but I don't think I'd be there ringside. No.
Okay.
Unless I had to be.
Okay. Now, Tyson Fury, he made a statement today. He was asked, hey, would you share the ring with Mike Tyson in an exhibition? And he said, hell yeah. What's your take on this?
Of course, I could see that. Yeah. It's kind of scary for Mike Tyson. You know what, though? Mike Tyson was my favorite fighter of all time. How he came into the ring all, like, sweaty. He's just, like, a badass guy, like a street fighter almost.
No robe, nothing.
Yeah, just it's crazy. He was just crazy, just you saw it in him. And I don't think crazy just, like, fades away. So I'm sure he could probably put up a good fight. But
yeah.
I think, bow out gracefully and then keep it going on to something else. It's just my personal take on it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about today's fighters. Let's talk about Lomachenko. Let's talk about Teofimo Lopez. What's your take on that fight that's supposed to happen in September, and who do you have and why?
Did they say where they are going to put that fight yet?
I heard Vegas. At first, they were leaning towards New York, as we all heard, but I was listening and hearing that it may be in Vegas.
Yeah, I think Vegas is opening up quicker anyway.
Right.
I know Lomachenko has called out a couple of our guys. I'm more familiar with him. I take him.
On experience, power, mobility, or just because he's Lomachenko?
Experience and just because he's Lomachenko. And I kind of want to see a fight with him and one of my guys in the future, so I want him to keep winning. Oh,
there you go. In the business aspect, yes, I could agree with you totally, 100% on that.
Yeah.
I'll share a story with you, okay? And it wasn't business for me, but still, as a personal fan of the sport, so to speak, when Naseem Hamed was fighting, and he was undefeated, and a lot of people around the neighborhood, they couldn't stand him. They couldn't stand his swag, even though he was working with Emmanuel Stewart. And I would always root for him. Reason being is because I wanted him to stay undefeated. I said, stay undefeated until you fight Marco Antonio Barrera. But Barrera got stopped by Poison Jones. So Barrera had to go back and get a couple victories. But I'll tell you what, it was a sweet victory when he finally shared the ring with Barrera and Naseem Hamed. And, I gave him that first L, and it was a good fight. I mean, Naseem has that power, and he's very unorthodox, and, he was good for the sport.
Yeah.
Out of these I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I can see that, definitely.
Out of these fighters today, do they have the same wits and tenacity as the Tommy Hearns, the Sugar Ray Leonard, the Marvin Haglers, the Roberto Durans? What's your take on this?
We're living it. I think so. I think especially those names, they became such household names and names that we all know aside from their greatness. Their fights were people were able to watch it. They were able to become a household name because it was free. It wasn't just pay-per-view. And I think we went away from that for a while, and only like diehard fans were paying for fights, and that's how you would know the names, and you'd have to be really in it. But now with our, PBC on Fox and even DAZN and their streaming, they're getting that casual fan back too. So right. I think that, some of these guys definitely have the potential to be a big name like that. Tyson and Deontay are definitely, look at their following now. It was huge. Deontay being with the Pope, and just like the things they've gotten to do and the fame that came, they'll be remembered for the same thing too, I think.
You know what? I agree with you. I think some of today's fighters, you can put them and say, okay, I'm going to put you in the throwback column because you can hang with those warriors of yesterday that have paved the way for the fighters today. When you see a fighter that's more showmanship than wits and tenacity, how do you groom that? How do you fix that? And as a business person, do you just say, okay, it's just all about numbers and business until this guy gets in the ring or until this girl gets in the ring with the true fighter?
Well, sometimes I can't wait if they got like a bad attitude. I'm like, God, like, I can't wait till you fight someone real and see how this goes for you. But, you know, most of my guys that have that kind of persona, that it works for them.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds, but like, it doesn't bother me too much. I'm kind of entertained by it myself. I'm talking like the Adrians of the world, you know.
Yeah,
and you know, it does work for him though. People seem to like it, and I think he's funny sometimes. I think he's very, very, very witty. I think Adrian's very, very smart, because you cannot. I mean, obviously, some of the decisions he made, I'm so smart, but you can't be that witty without having some kind of intelligence. I'm sorry. And he comes up with things so quickly that it catches me off guard sometimes. And I'm talking just like one-on-one, he'll make a joke about something, and I'm just like, that was funny. Okay. Making fun of me, but that was quick. That was funny. So, I'm not too bothered by anyone. I mean, no one's like really mean. They're just kind of, I don't know.
They have their own personality.
Yeah, they have big personalities.
And it all depends on how they woke up that morning. I mean, I've met Broner when he was, didn't want to be bothered. And I met him when he wanted to talk to everybody.
Yeah, but then also I see it from the other side. He's, you know, especially during fight week, he's getting in that zone where he might be killed in the ring. We don't understand what's going through their heads. It's beyond my realm of understanding. For me, it's work, and I have to go and do this and that. And for him, everyone could walk in the ring. All your people could be around you. You have the biggest ring walk in the world. But when that bell rings, it's just you. Absolutely. You're the only one in there, and your life's on the line. And so when they get moody during fight week, also they're making weight. Oh,
I was about to say that cutting weight is difficult. It's edgy. It's there's a lot going on, especially
I have been like sugar free for literally a day and a half, and I'm cranky. So I can't. I know how they feel. It's terrible. You gotta make weight, and then there's all these interviews, and there's all this, and you're just already cranky, and everyone's expecting you to be like a nice person, and you're thinking about this big fight where you could possibly die. I mean, I've been yelled at from some of the fighters for the tiniest things, and even though I get kind of emotional in the moment of it, afterwards I think like, come on, their head just not even there right now. They have so much going on, making weight and this and that, and you know, ticket, just God only knows. So
I thought I was the only one that gets cranky. Sometimes I'll get cranky right before a show, because I'll get a phone call right before a show, and it's either the co-host or just somebody around there. If you get that phone call an hour before, it's never, I don't care what anybody says, it's never good news. Never. No. Never. You know,
I know, and I get cranky too, because it's like, people call me on fight night, maybe 10 minutes before the main event's about to go on, and like, my tickets aren't here at Will Call. It's like, Will Call's closed. Like, yeah, your tickets were there, but what do you want me to do now? Or you didn't put my name here. Just always I answer like, yeah, like what? I'm not going to do that though this time. I swear.
You gotta embrace and say, you know what? Let me help you. It's done. It's there. Where are you at? I'm waiting for you.
My feeling once the main event's in the ring, I'm kind of like, oof, okay, all right, we're good. Like, everything.
It's on cruise control.
Yeah, you know, now we're okay. Like, but there's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of, each fighter has about 4 people with them.
Right.
It's a lot of people needing a lot of things, but it's not so bad sometimes.
What is the last minute thing, the biggest last minute thing you took care of? Where somebody went up to you and said, hey, I mean, like moments before, maybe a day before, they said, hey, I need this is what happened, and you're like, really? You're asking me this? Okay.
Day of the fight. Not even day of the fight, I would say. This poor kid, I guess his bag got lost, but I was like, you've been here 3 days. Like, why didn't you tell me before? And Herbie found something. We were in Vegas, thank God, that we weren't in like some little faraway town. he was able to find the kid a cup and a mouthpiece quickly. So, but that one was like, okay, all right, well, that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get away with this one. Well, actually, what was it? At Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, biggest fight of his life, and they were waiting on the mouthpiece. Remember, Oscar was waiting?
His was like a custom one, though, right?
Yeah,
they were having.
They didn't bring it into the ring with them. That was Tito Trinidad. But, it worked for him.
Yeah, this poor kid had to have us, big 5-1 on the best of our ability at MGM.
Hey, just something to bite on and hold your teeth in place at this time.
But like, I was like, why you didn't think about this till just now when you're getting dressed and ready and like you're wrapped? Okay.
So you ironed it out and went smooth, and you're able to talk about it. Those are good experiences. Those are good roadblocks that came your way, and you know what? You just shattered them and said, you know what? This is what I am. I'm a problem solver. I'm a solution 100%. Person.
That is, it's just, I've adapted that personality too, where it's like, there's nothing that we're not going to be able to fix. Like, we'll get it done. We'll figure it out and we'll get it done. So no matter what it is, we'll figure it out.
The show must go on. That's why you're in the position where you're at. That's why you allowed Kelly Swanson's advice to take place. Because a lot of times you'll have some expert advice, and a lot of people, they get stubborn. No, I'm not going to receive that. That might have worked for you, but not me. But hey, you're able to adapt and overcome, just like fighters are. You're in that 10th round, and you had to come back from a knockdown, and you made it happen.
Yeah. I'm coming for a few knockdowns.
Well, there you go. You're that warrior. Now, speaking of warrior, I'm going to mention a name, and I want to ask you, what's your whole take on him revising his career, and who do you think his next opponent is going to be? And I'm going to mention the name Manny Pacquiao, the senator of the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. I know who everyone wants him to fight. They want that Floyd fight again. I'm seeing all that. It's building on the internet, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, that name's been, that name never goes away. Everybody wants to see it. They want to see it 100 times.
I want to see Pacquiao and Spence.
That's a good matchup.
Pacquiao, he comes with so many people. He has quite the following. It's crazy. I want to see him against Spence, actually.
That'd be a good fight.
Especially Spence, I want to see that. He's young. He's coming back too off of a car accident.
Right.
I would like to see that, though. That'd be an interesting one.
That'd be a great matchup. Where will that fight take place? New York,
Where?
Las Vegas, yeah.
Do you think we'll be? I can't wait till we're back in New York for something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you got to keep Manny in Vegas.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to Sean Gibbons, and we'll throw that name at him.
Viva?
Spence, right? Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Viva Sean. You know Sean Gibbons? Nice guy, very nice guy.
I've known Sean Gibbons my entire life.
There you are. I'm telling you something that you already know.
Yeah, he's funny. With his Woody doll.
Oh yeah, it's still there with all the gold chains.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen Sean in a while. I talked to him like a couple days ago, but I haven't seen him. Yeah, he's always somewhere. He's in the Philippines. He's here. He's there. He's all around.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, my personal relationship that I have with him, to me, class act, man. I mean, they broke the mold with that dude. That dude he goes beyond on any other person would do, especially personally for me. You know, I'll share with you real fast. My son is in heaven, and I've dedicated my whole career to my son. So every chance Sean gets, he'll always take a picture or send me a video. Hey, thumbs up for Richie, constantly. So I mean, that's a class act. Sean's a good dude.
He is. My dad. I don't know if you know, my uncle and my dad worked for Top Rank for a little bit in between 10 Goose Boxing Days and Goose and Tudor.
Right.
Or ex-Goose Sports, whatever it was at the time. And so Sean and my dad worked together back then. I mean, this is like, I was in maybe 2nd, 3rd grade.
Oh, wow.
So, Sean's always been around. Like, I don't even know life without Sean Gibbons. So, Sean and Valerie, very good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, no, he's making it happen. I mean, he's doing good.
Brendan, and now Brendan's in boxing. None of us can get away.
No, and Brendan, he's doing, I believe, a little bit of acting and a little bit of modeling. Tall dude, man.
I know, but he's doing the management thing too. When his dad, taking out for his dad when his dad can't be there. It's crazy.
No, he's doing really well. Nice kid too. Nice kid too. Listen,
very, very personable kid.
I'm gonna let you go in a little bit, but I cannot let you go without you giving whoever's the most important person at this time in your life a big shout out, letting that person know that's watching, hey, you appreciate them in your life.
Oh, if I don't do my mom, she'll never let me hear the end of it.
There you go.
It's my mom for sure.
There you are.
There's 5 of us, all 5 of us kids, and she's put up with my dad and all her brothers and all this craziness of boxing for years and years and years. So shout out to her. She's the real MVP.
There you go. So how do we follow you? How do we stay in contact with Brittany Goossen-Brown?
I got my Instagram, which is Brit_GB, and I'm on Facebook, although I'm not very good at checking that. I'm mostly Instagram. I've been trying to take a social media break during this too, but boy, is that hard. But Instagram's probably the best.
But yeah, you know what? During that whole social media, I'm beginning to find out who people really are.
Oh yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh! I'm like, okay, I see what's really going on right now.
Oh yeah, and people. Oh yeah, the crazier, the longer they're locked inside, the crazier they're getting.
I think they're hallucinating or something, because some of the stuff that's being posted out there or their comments, I'm like, okay.
Right, or sometimes they share links, and I'm like, guys, this is not even a legitimate source. Like, before you go and make your whole move on this, let's at least get like a credible news source before we post things. It's just crazy. Yeah, so I've been trying to avoid it. It's just making me angry.
Okay, well, I won't tag you anymore because I don't want to make you angry.
No, you can tag. That's fine. Keep going. It's reading other people's things.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. I was sharing with you about the whole show and the whole All Women Month of May, and that you're a part of it.
It's
we
awesome.
Appreciate it.
What a great idea, and thank you for doing that. It's awesome.
And hey, thank you for being on the Fighter's Voice. Before we go out, I want to give a shout out to Marcos Madman Hernandez, who's also with PVC. Today's his birthday. I'm rocking his shirt today. So Marcos, happy birthday, my man, and God bless you and your family. What's that?
That's what's up.
Exactly. That's exactly what's up. He knows who to be with. He knows what company to sign with.
Yeah, he loves that. That's what's up saying. So
that's what's up.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, Marcos Madman Hernandez. Well, hey, any last words before I let you go?
No, I think I'm good. Hopefully, I'll see everyone back at a fight soon, and we'll be, pick up where we left off.
Exactly. And next time I do see you in Vegas, even though you're having a good time, I'm just going to ease on by definitely. And just introduce myself and. That
is the time. When I'm having a good time, it's the time to introduce yourself. It'll be great. It'll be much nicer.
Okay, you got it. Hey, appreciate you taking the time, and you know what? You're doing a lot of good work. You're opening doors for not just females, but males, people that are just got all those attributes like you have. The experience that you have growing up, you can't put a price on that. And a lot of people, they'll sit on that, or they'll say, I don't want to be in the family business, or I don't want to do this. But you're living proof that, you know what? You were born with it. You're still doing it. You're embracing it. And you're that fighter in the ring at that 10th round. You just got up and you're still kicking ass.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope I get to keep doing it for a couple more years. So
there you are. I love having you. Hey, this is Rich Ortiz here with the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And like Brittany Goossen-Brown, we're simply knocking out the competition. It's a wrap here in Fresno. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week. Same when, same how. And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.